Izzy, wake up. It's time to get ready for school. Izzy stretched out her arms, her eyes barely open. Okay, Mom, she mumbled. Hurry up, her mom called. I don't want your food to get cold. Breakfast was Izzy's favorite meal of the day. Once she was dressed, she ran down the curvy staircase. At the bottom, her father was waiting with a big smile. Slow down, baby girl, Steve said as Izzy jumped into his arms. Come on, Mom made your favorite, pancakes. Izzy was elated. As they all sat down to eat, her mom smiled and said, Someone's turning 7 in a couple of days. Who could it be? It's me, Izzy exclaimed. I'll be 7 on May 15th. What would you like to do for your birthday? Eleanor asked. I want a party for the entire town, Izzy said excitedly. The entire town? Eleanor and Steve echoed in unison, both looking bewildered. I can go to the local post office and get everyone's addresses so I can send out invitations, Izzy offered. Under the table, Eleanor gave Steve a quick tap with her foot. I don't know, sweetheart, Steve began, hesitating. Please, Izzy begged, her eyes wide. You know I didn't get to have a birthday party last year, Steve added gently. She was sick with the flu, remember? Izzy nodded. Yeah, I was really sick, but this year will be amazing, I promise. Eleanor sighed, then smiled. All right, let's do it. Izzy squealed joyfully and hurried off to school, practically floating with excitement. After school, Izzy rushed to the town's bakery. She could smell the bread baking as she approached the door. Hi, Mrs. Pat. Hi, Izzy, Mrs. Pat said. I need a favor. What can I do for you? Mrs. Pat asked. Well, Izzy said nervously, I'd like you to bake me a birthday cake. My birthday is in a couple of days, May 15th to be exact. How many people are you expecting? I invited the whole town, Izzy said. I can't hear you, Mrs. Pat called out, pulling a tray of bread from the oven. How many people? I said. I invited the whole town. Mrs. Pat turned with a puzzled look. Izzy, do you know how long it would take me to make a cake that big? Izzy dropped to her knees. Please, I can help, Mrs. Pat laughed. All right, but we'll have to start early. Tomorrow's Saturday. I need you here at 6 a.m. sharp. Okay, Mrs. Pat, I'll be here. Izzy rushed home, excited. She told her parents about the cake and how she was going to help make it. That night, she laid out her clothes and set her alarm. She was ready. In the morning darkness, Izzy asked her dad to drop her off at the bakery. When they arrived, Mrs. Pat was already waiting at the door. Steve waved and asked, What time should I pick her up? Around 8 p.m., Mrs. Pat answered. We'll need a mountain of flour, an avalanche of eggs, and enough sugar to make a dentist faint, she added with a grin. Inside, Mrs. Pat showed Izzy how to spread icing and use piping tools. The birthday cake was 6 layers high. It was so tall they had to climb a ladder just to see the other side. After a long day, Izzy pulled up at exactly 8 p.m. Your dad is outside. I'll finish the rest tomorrow. Thanks, Izzy said, giving Mrs. Pat a warm hug. On Monday afternoon, after school, Izzy stopped by Mrs. Pat's to see the cake. When she walked in, the shop seemed empty. Hello? Izzy called out, her voice echoing slightly. She headed toward the back and opened the door leading to the basement. Mrs. Pat? Oh, hi, Izzy. I was expecting you, Mrs. Pat replied. I was just finishing up your cake. Come along, she said, waving her hand to signal Izzy to follow. In the basement, a large sheet covered something tall. Close your eyes. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Izzy opened her eyes and gasped. The cake was stunning. It was pink, with delicate roses and shimmering pearls. It was the biggest, most beautiful cake she had ever seen. It's perfect, Mrs. Pat. I knew you could do it. Thank you, Izzy. I couldn't have pulled it off without your help, she said with a wink. I'll have the cake delivered to Town Square in time for your party. The afternoon of May 15th arrived, and the town square was buzzing with excitement. Colorful balloons floated in the air, streamers danced in the breeze, and tables lined with snacks and games. When Izzy arrived, the crowd cheered. Happy birthday, Izzy! Her eyes widened as she saw just how many people had come. The whole town was there, just as she'd dreamed. Mayor Griffin stepped up to the microphone and said, I think we can all agree this is the biggest and most fabulous birthday party this town has ever seen. Cheers to Izzy, Eleanor bent down and whispered. You made this happen. Izzy stood on a little wooden stool and made a wish before blowing out the giant candle on top of the cake. Everyone cheered again. As the sun began to set, Izzy danced with her friends, played tons of games, and handed out slices of cake. She looked around at the smiling faces, people truly enjoying themselves, and thought this is the best birthday ever.